Where are we going? Oh, speaking of Charlie Sheen, let's talk about him. So Charlie Sheen, speaking of documentaries too, has a new documentary and a memoir coming out called The Book of Sheen. Or should I say, let's talk about Carlos Estevez, because that's his government name. Yeah, I'm putting everybody's name out here. The only one that actually kept their name was Emilio. Martin changed his name. His name is Ramon. Ramon Estevez. Or as some people say, Ramon. So Chicharron, Ramon. But anyway, so he has a book coming out called The Book of Sheen. And in addition to The Book of Sheen, he also has a documentary coming to Netflix on the 10th. So that's in 2 days. Called AKA Charlie Sheen. And in the book and the documentary, he opens up about his experiences with men of the homosexual kind. So he said, I flipped the menu over. This is what he said in the Netflix doc in the book of trying something new after years of having relations with women. He said he's no longer hiding from his past, but owning it, saying, I'm not going to run from my past or let it own me. In the doc, when the interviewer asked Sheen how it feels to be talking publicly for the first time about having relations with those of the same gender, he said, liberating. It's effing liberating to just talk about stuff. It's like a train didn't come through this side of the restaurant. A effing piano didn't fall out of the sky. No one ran into the room and pow-powed me. Now, Sheen, who spoke about the subject today on Good Morning America, says his sexual experiences with men began when he was using crack. Oh, so the crack made you do it, sir? First of all, quiet as it's kept. You always had them feelings because word on the curb was, and this is an old rumor that came out. Word on the street was you SA'd Corey Haim. You don't remember that story that came out? Well, y'all worked on that movie Lucas. You put in his butt. Yes, yes, what? And I think it was was it Crisco? That was the team. That was the rumor. Now I'm saying allegedly, 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 allegedly. So Charlie Sheen was always out here laying it low and spreading it wide with boys. But we're not gonna sit up in here and talk about crack. Crack did it. Crack made you do it. Because crack is whack. So yeah, he said that's what started it. That's where it was born or sparked. And whatever chunks of time that I was off the pipe trying to navigate that, trying to come to terms with it, where did that come from? Why did that happen? And then just finally being like, so what? So what? Some of it was weird. A lot of it was effing fun. And life goes on. Well, yeah, with sex with men at times, depending on who you hunch, it do come across a little weird. But to me, I always look at Charlie as like sexually adventurous, and also let's not also forget chemsex with men who experiment with sex. This is like you're doing drugs, be it crack, meth, whatever the case is. A lot of people need a sex like a pick me up in order to have sex. Some people can't just have it naturally. Some people need alcohol or harder drugs in order to relax or to be okay with exploring that side of themselves. And if anything, you could be like Jamie Foxx and blame it on the alcohol, or in Charlie's case, blame it on the crack pipe. He was sucking on that. That wasn't the only glass. That wasn't the only glass dick he was sucking. He was sucking an actual one too. So, um, now during his drug fueled exploits, he contracted HIV, and that's also like I totally believe it that it had to come through that because or as I like to call it when I'm trying to be a little more clean about it, the high five. That's what I call HIV sometimes. Um, when your immune system is compromised due to the heavy drugs, the street pharmaceuticals, you do leave yourself open up and vulnerable to have, to catch things, to catch HIV and things of that nature. So when he did the interview with Matt Lauer, Matt did ask him, he said, since your HIV diagnosis, that sort of thing, have you had unprotected sex with? I don't know if he was specific about the gender, but he had sexual relations unprotected with people since his diagnosis. I was like, yeah. And what I was hoping he was going to say, because I feel like this is the conversation that people need to have, because there's still a stigma about HIV and AIDS in the United States. A lot of people are not well educated. We need to start driving forth undetectable equals untransmittable. And I don't hear that enough from people. Yeah, you have people, and this is where I got my education from because I told y'all, or maybe some of you don't know this, but once upon a time, I used eons ago, wasn't my first job, but it was like probably my second or my third. I worked for a company called ACQC, AIDS Center of Queens County. And they don't only just deal with people who are infected or affected with HIV and AIDS. I still hang out, I still know a lot of the people there, still friendly with them. I march with them every year in Queens. I didn't do it this year, but every year I do march with them or go on the float with Queens Pride. My mom is very much active with them as well, doing a lot of the meetings and a lot of other stuff. And she's always been much of an activist, which got me into it, being an activist as well, and wanting to spread the word. I back in the day, I used to go to the clubs and give out condoms. That was also my and get paid for it. But that was also my way of getting to go and hang out at the bars and clubs at night. So and getting in for free because I was doing outreach. And so I've always been in that whole realm of giving proper education when it comes to talking about things like the stigma of HIV and AIDS, especially when it comes in the LGBTQ community. Because you don't only, it's not just limited to queer people catching it. Women get it too. And it's not only necessarily from having unprotected sex with men who are having sex with men and not disclosing it. A lot of times it comes from IVU, I mean intravenous drugs where you're sharing needles or, and other ways. So it's not just a gay man's disease. And I think people still have that in their mind, which kind of irritates me. But it would have been, I guess maybe Charlie was nervous. And when you're doing an interview with someone like Matt Lauer, who always comes across as smug, who always tries to act like I want that gotcha viral moment. Um, how can you have like that real situation going on? Because sitting down with Matt Lauer, who I could have sworn speaking of cancel, I thought we canceled his ass years ago. I guess all is forgiven. Um, he could be a little intense at times. Then he spoke about like why he was deciding to do the interviews and all this other stuff and come out with the book and the documentary. He talked about how like when people would come over to his house, overnight guests would see his medication, take photos of it, and threaten to expose him if he didn't pay them. Which is kind of like I wish he would be not as reckless with his pills and stuff. But I feel like when you a crackhead, when you doing all kinds of stuff, you ain't thinking about, oh, let me hide my HIV medication because somebody gonna snitch on me or people that I disclose my information to. I wish he would have named names. So because if they celebrities that we could cancel their ass. I know we talked about you can't cancel somebody, but we could just act like we don't see it for them no more and refuse to support them. Because if you're ever gonna be that evil and vindictive, I want names if we know who they are. Because for you to do something like that and want to threaten to exploit him, and then Matt Lauer also asked him, is he still paying them? He said, as of now, I'm not. So you was paying him all the way up into this situation. I'm like, oh no, go ahead and tell it. Because I could have sworn we knew about his status. Like it came out years ago that he was HIV positive. And I thought after now that it's out there, these people can't threaten to hold it over your head anymore. So that's still weird that you were still out here supporting these blackmailers to keep them quiet, even though your T was already out here. So okay. Oh yeah, they said that. Yeah, because I was like, wait a minute, he came out with his HIV status. They said in 2015 on the Today Show, so that was like 10 years ago. So I'm like, why would you still taking them? Why would you still paying these people? So I said, I do know for a fact that I never passed it on. Now Sheen says with the book and the documentary, he just wanted to tell his full truth and own his stories, and he didn't want to censor anything. So um, I guess in this whole situation where they saying that he said that I know I didn't pass on. Like he got it. He doesn't know how he got it. But it was like, all I know is I didn't pass it on to nobody. And I think that that's good that you know that because like I said, if you're taking your medication and you taking good care of yourself and you doing what needs to be done in order to uh make sure that your T cell count is up to par and you're constantly going to your doctors and um you know what you're doing in regards to that, then I don't think you have anything to worry about. You can't transmit HIV if everything is on point and you're undetectable. So I think a lot of people need to learn that when it comes down to that. Because I remember I had a situation, I do kind of regret it. There was a guy that I had met at the club, and we went home. I went back to his place. We was gonna hunch, and for some reason, it was like because I had that in my mind about the whole HIV thing that I couldn't get it up and top him. And now that once I got more educated, then it was like, oh no, this bean goes. Well, I ain't gonna say it goes to anybody, but but way more open and educated when it comes down to this whole situation. So yeah, so this is the look of the book. Let me take that situation. Oh, well, you can see the book of Sheen, him in the t-shirt and everything. So yeah. Shout out to you, Charlie. And I definitely will be checking out this book. I'm thinking I might want to read it. So I may check it out. So yeah, I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story in regards to what Charlie Sheen had to say? Well, he was out here talking about, yeah, I kissed the boy and I liked it and did a little more than that. Um, okay. I mean, this is Hollywood. Who hasn't? I'm sure there's quite a few that haven't, but it's a lot of fluid men running around the industry. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below.